Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Atlanta Falcons Today on a Monday. We get into news, rumors, some trade stuff as well. The deadline is tomorrow. And then, of course, the reaction to the Panthers loss on Sunday. What are the Falcons doing? What are they doing? We're just getting rolling here. We just had a couple of nice wins, and it's like Carolina. They're a struggling football team, and then you go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and you just roll. They laid an egg. They laid an absolute egg in front of a, one-third capacity Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The crowd understands the Falcons are not a very good football team, right now, at least at home, and so they're not showing up, which I don't really blame them. But 19-3, what are you doing? It just, oh my goodness, the Falcons are they're just killing me. And of course, the Braves lost last night too, so it's like insult to injury. It was a rough day to be an Atlanta sports fan on Sunday, although the Braves still alive. We'll see what happens on Tuesday. But I digress. Back to the Falcons. You just can't lose games like this. There are times that you can lose games to good football teams. Had this been the Saints, you're playing the Saints this coming week, a close loss, you could be like, okay, the Saints are a good football team. You played them well. Carolina's not good. Sam Darnold's not good, and yet Sam Darnold and the rushing attack by the Carolina Panthers look unbelievable. They look fantastic. And so this sends us back to the drawing board. We talked last week a lot about, we're 500. The playoffs are still a possibility. And I know that was a little bit of, overhyping a mediocre football team, but the losses like this cannot continue to pile up. And for what we were billed against a bad Panther team, they just didn't cash any sort of checks on Sunday, and it was rough to watch offensively and defensively, plus the whole Calvin Ridley stuff. We'll get into that here in just one second. First, pin comment down below. Answer this question. How good are the Falcons as a whole? Seriously, they're sitting at 500. You go in, you just lay an egg against the Carolina Panthers. On a scale of 1 to 10, are they a 7 out of 10? Are they a 4 out of 10? Are they a 5 out of 10? Give me your thoughts and give me your scale from 1 to 10 on how good the Falcons are right now down below. Now, we begin my 5 big takeaways from Week 8 with Calvin Ridley. Now, if you're on Twitter or you're watching the game as a whole, Calvin Ridley did not play, and there was a tweet that came out via his official Twitter account explaining this kind of in the middle of the game, and the timing of this is all weird, but overall, it was kind of what's going on right now with Calvin Ridley, who essentially is going to be taking another long extended break due to some mental health concerns. We'll throw his tweet up on the screen. Quote, "These past few weeks have been very challenging, and as much as I'd like to be in the field competing with my teammates, I need to step away from football at this time and focus on my mental well-being. This will help me be the best version of myself now and in the future. I want to thank my teammates, the entire Atlanta Falcons organization, our great fans, my friends, and my family for all their support during this time." Calvin Ridley. So Ridley is not coming back anytime soon. This has led to a lot of speculation by fans saying that he's trying to get traded, that he doesn't like the system, that he's not performing well, that he's being a baby. I heard all of this stuff on Twitter and saw it all on Twitter over the last 24 hours. I just can't speculate on this situation. I am not in a position where I can just say, oh, he's mental health, obviously that's fake. He's obviously faking this and wants to be traded. We can't say that. You literally cannot go out and say that, even if you think it might be true, until we get actual reporting and actual facts on it. If he wants to be traded, though, why not just go to the team and publicly say you want to be traded, just like Julio Jones did? That worked. It got Julio Jones traded, which is why I, again, will hesitate to say that this is, fake, or he's trying to, miss games on purpose. I just don't see that being the case. And if it is, and that comes to light, then this is a very weak move by Calvin Ridley, but I just can't get to that point right now because, again, we don't know. And I go back to different instances I talked about on this channel over the past year. Lane Johnson, for instance, Philadelphia Eagles right tackle. He missed the past 3 games due to mental health issues, and no one in Philadelphia blamed him. They said, take your time, and he did a full interview on Fox Sports on Sunday morning explaining that he was just going through a severe bout with depression and some anti-anxiety medication, and it was okay, so we were right to not criticize him, and I think we have to take the same approach with Calvin Ridley until we're proven wrong. Now, Ridley has been struggling on the field, and from an on-the-field standpoint, he has been playing badly. I don't think that we can then just immediately go, he's playing badly, therefore he wants to pout and not play. I just can't make that connection. Again, if that comes out too light and he's doing this on purpose to get a trade, it's a really bad look. But until we know that for sure, I think we can continue to give our support and thoughts and prayers to Calvin Ridley and hope he's back sooner rather than later, because, as we'll talk about, the Falcons need him out there because the offense was absolutely terrible yesterday and had no rhythm and no ability to move the football down the field, and they missed Ridley not being out there. So get better, Calvin. I'll keep you guys up to date if there is any sort of update on his situation. Now, again, if anything is going to happen, he's going to come back this week, or he's not going to come back for a while, or he's going to get traded, we'll cover it here on the channel. And we're very close to 4K subs, and so if you guys like updates like this and you like the channel as a whole, make sure you guys are subscribed to Atlanta Falcons Today as we keep you guys up to date on the latest Falcons news and rumors. And we're trying to get to 4K subs. We're very close, less than 200 away. Go down below and hit that subscribe button, because if anything happens now, trade deadline, whatever, we'll cover it here on the channel. Okay, we have to get into our next thought here, and this is something that I don't do a lot because I like Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan is not free of blame for the loss on Sunday. And for as much as I praised him the past couple of weeks, this was a bad game. I mean, the Panthers had pressure in front of him, and they absolutely shut down Kyle Pitts. I mean, Ridley was 20 of 20. Ryan was 20 of 27, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, and and 2 picks. And both of those picks came at very inopportune times. The first one, especially, even though his hand was hurt, it was his left hand, and he just didn't see the linebacker there. Threw it right to Shaq Thompson in the red zone. I mean, points were at a premium yesterday, and Matt Ryan did not take care of the football. I think he'd be the first to put the blame on himself. But I think that without Ridley, as we just talked about, teams can kind of key in on the one good player on Atlanta, and that is Kyle Pitts. Like, as long as Kyle Pitts doesn't beat you, Patterson's going to be able to get his, but he's not going to do enough to beat you. And I think that's what the Panthers went into this game doing. They went ahead, put Stephon Gilmore on Kyle Pitts, locked him down. It was a good trade for Carolina, and Pitts finished the game with 2 catches for 13 yards. So I think that this goes to show that we miss Calvin Ridley. We need Calvin Ridley out there, and I hope he comes back soon because good football teams, at least good defenses, and the Panthers at times have been good this year, have figured out how to slow down Atlanta when they especially don't run the football well, and they don't have a lot of targets opposite of Tajay Sharp, who was the number 1 receiver on the team yesterday, which just absolutely never, ever happened. Without Calvin Ridley, who's the best weapon on the Falcons? It should still be Kyle Pitts, but behind him, who is it? I mean, seriously, who's the best weapon on the Falcons right now? Give me your thoughts down below right now in the comments section, as Atlanta's offense went from really, really good the past couple of weeks, 30-plus points per game, to doing nothing. And I know Ridley was out against the Jets, but the Jets didn't have a defensive player like Stephon Gilmore or other good players like the Panthers did in that win on the road, I should say, in London a couple of weeks ago. The third takeaway is something that we're going to be basically saying all year long, and that is that it's clear the Falcons need defensive help. Like, they very clearly need help on the front four, and against decent offensive-minded head coaches like Matt Rule and Joe Brady, they're just going to pick you apart at your weakest link, and that, of course, is the Falcons, rushing attack in terms of their defensive performance in the front four. Very little pressure on Sam Darnold, and he's been pressured all year long, and look at the Panther rushing numbers. Hubbard had 82 yards on 23 carries. Sam Darnold had 66 yards. Amir Abdullah had 31. Royce Freeman had 25. I mean, they were running all over this Falcon defensive line, and there's nothing that we can do about it. I mean, this is the Falcon defensive line you're going to have all year long, and I think that it's very clear that Atlanta's first overall draft pick next year needs to be defense. Their first 3 picks next year need to be defense, and 1 or 2 of those has got to be along the defensive line. They need to rebuild the defensive line from the ground up. They missed Fowler, but Fowler wouldn't have done much yesterday to stop the run. He's more of a pass rusher, obviously, but it was just rough yesterday. I mean, there's no two ways around it. It was a rough performance by the Atlanta Falcons defense. They got run all over the place, and continues to show why they need help, especially on the defensive line coming up this offseason. Now, I need help because my bets of the week with my friends at BetUS were atrocious. I'll show you my list of 5 here in a second, but first, if you guys want to bet on the Falcons, the Braves, obviously they got a game coming up Tuesday. Hopefully they close things out. You want to bet on the Hawks, who are getting started right now. Do it with friends at BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/BetFalcons. Promo code Falcons125. Get that 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up to bet on the Falcons or other NFL games. Now, I have a winning record this year, but I was terrible yesterday. I bet Atlanta to win. That was wrong. I bet Detroit to cover. That was wrong. The Titans beating the Colts was the only thing that I had yesterday in terms of a win, as the Chargers were terrible against the Patriots, and the Bucks got beat by the Saints. Like, what was going on yesterday? My bets were not good, but I promise some better picks coming up this week. We're going to get back in the green, so go and get your bets in right now at chatsports.com/BetFalcons. So promo code Falcons125. Okay, quickly on the trade deadline. Are they going to do anything? It's a serious question here as we're approaching the NFL trade deadline, which is Tuesday afternoon. I just don't see a lot of trades. And we've talked about trades the past couple of days. I think right now they need wide receiver help and they need running back help. Those are 2 options you could do at the deadline for cheap. Like, you can't go and fix your defensive line at the NFL trade deadline. You can't go fix your secondary at the NFL trade deadline. You can, though, trade for, a mediocre running back like Marlon Mack or Miles Sanders. We talked about that. Or trade for a mediocre wide receiver like James Washington or N'Keal Harry of the New England Patriots. So I would like them to do this. I think they need running back help especially. I mean, I think that right now Mike Davis has been basically useless this year, minus a couple of nice runs and a couple of good pass blocks. But overall, I just don't see a lot of trades, and I don't see anything crazy happening at the deadline. But if it does, we'll cover it here on the channel. You guys think the Falcons will make a trade? You think they will? Type Y down below for yes. Think they won't? Go down below and type N down below for no. All right, final takeaway, and we always do this every single week every single Monday to end the show, is take a look at the playoff picture and the schedule, and even though they lost and they don't look very good, the playoffs are technically still there. I mean, the next couple of weeks are an interesting 5 weeks, right? The Saints on the road, probably without Jameis Winston, so we'll see if Trevor Siemian can back up his amazing performance on Sunday against the Bucs. Cowboys, they look like a good team. That's probably a loss for the Atlanta Falcons. And the Patriots, how good are they? They're starting to kind of peak at the right time. Jaguars should be an easy win, and then the Bucs again. So it's going to be an interesting next 5 weeks. We talked about the schedule getting easier. It does, but there are a couple of games mixed in there that have me a little bit worried based on what we saw the Falcons do on Sunday. How many wins will the Falcons have the next 5 weeks? I'll leave that up to you guys. I mean, they got to go at least 3-2, in my opinion. Try and keep it right around 500, but give me your thoughts on how many wins in the next 5 weeks down below right now. Finally, the playoff picture, we mentioned this earlier. Right now, Atlanta sits as the 9th seed in the playoffs at 3-4. You see the Panthers at 4-4. That was a tough loss for Atlanta. That hurts them in the playoff wildcard picture. The 5 seed and 6 seed are locked up. It really is a battle for the 7th seed, so you want to root against teams like the Vikings, who lost last night to Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys, and you want to root against the Bears and the Eagles, all teams that are hovering in the 8th, 9th, and 10th seed or spots right now in the wildcard hunt. So it's still a possibility, but it seems to be a little less likely overall for the Atlanta Falcons. All right, we'll end on another question here. Will the Falcons make the playoffs? I think they will. Type P down below for playoffs. I think they will miss the playoffs. Type M down below for miss. All right, ultimate for today on our Atlanta Falcons reaction video. A tough loss, but they got to rally the troops and get ready for a trip down to Louisiana on Sunday. We'll cover it here all week long on the channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed in case there are any trades that happen over the next couple of days. For Atlanta Falcons Today, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.